Alrighty. Ranking the Friday the 13th characters. This is going to be such a video because I'm going to have to split this into 7 different videos in sections. Because I feel like if I did any more, there'd be too many videos, and if I did any less, there'd be too many placements in each video. Because there's 200 characters on this list. And I could honestly list 10 more characters that I left off just because I didn't fucking want to deal with it. Because, like, the Irish cop who's pulled into the New York, Vancouver fucking alleyway, he's not on the list. The partiers that get massacred in Freddy vs. Jason aren't on the list. Only one of them is. Only one of them that... Well, no, because... I was going to say only one of them that don't have a name, but he does have a name, you just don't hear it. But the guy that gets his head spun around, not on the list. All the grunts, all the people that are like soldier types in Jason X aren't on the list, like Gecko, Kicker, all them. They're not distinguishable, there's no personality, they're just there to die. There are characters that are just there to die on the list, though. I did get 200 of them, but... You know, the 2 cops that die at the end of 6 that come with the sheriff, not on the list. Like, I'm just trying to, like, set the groundwork so that, like, when we're getting towards the end of the list, and you're like, but these people haven't, like, no, not everyone's on the list. I did almost put the funny cop from the first movie on the list, and I kind of regret not doing that. But I think I wound up with the right list, because we hit a nice round 200. So I guess without further ado, number 200 is Frizzle. Frizzle is Glow Stick Rape Guy from Freddy vs. Jason. And I honestly think that says it all. Don't have to explain that, hopefully. We know 2 things about this guy. His fashion sense, which is questionable, and that he's a rapist. That's it. He has no dialogue. He's just there to be fucking weird. And, you know, he's last place. Bottom of the barrel. And when you're ranking the Friday the 13th characters, you have to try really hard to hit the bottom of the barrel. 199, another Freddy vs. Jason character, Trey. Babe, you know I don't want to be touched after, okay? That guy. Abusive prick. An awful human being. There's other people who've done worse things above him, but they're less annoying and more prominent in, like, not really the story, but, like, there's worse people, but they don't bug me as much. Like, Trey's annoying, I will admit. And I love Freddy vs. Jason. It's my favorite Friday the 13th movie. But, yeah, no, the bottom 2 characters are from that movie, and I'm not upset about that. I mean, that just makes sense. I like how I have to specify that I'm not upset about my own list. Number 198, JoJo. And 197 is Holmes. Holmes and JoJo are the 2 gangbangers in Jason Takes Manhattan. Holmes is the one that actually drugs Rennie and tries to rape her. And JoJo is the other guy that's with him. How the rapist ranked higher is simply that he had more dialogue and was a better actor. But they're both fucking awful. And they rank... here. They're like hopefully there's no more rapists in the list. I don't think there are, but the fact that there's 3 of them in the bottom 4, wow, Friday the 13th, man, what the fuck are you doing? Well, 2 and someone who helped, which I think is, you know, I'm gonna just loop him in there too. It's the same thing basically. 196, we have John Shepard, who's in the beginning of 7. It's Tina's dad, who is an abusive guy. He, like, smacks his wife. That's really all we know about him. You know, just awful dude. Awful dude. Like, characters that are awful people, they can go anywhere in the ranking. But if they're awful and, like, not entertaining, or awful and only in a couple scenes, or awful and completely pointless to the story, those two things together, boom, bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel. 195 is Sergeant Marcus from the beginning of Jason X, a character that, you know, if I was putting a little more thought into it, may not have even made it on the list, but he's basically just one of the only 2 dudes to die in the beginning of Jason X that had a name. I was like, alright, a name gets him on the ranking. I'm not going to rank all the fucking guards. It's stupid. But, no, Marcus, he gets thrown through a door. He gets slammed against a metal door that falls over, and then he just dies. Which is pretty lame, but yeah, he's really this low because he's insignificant and willingly letting Wimmer take Jason to go wreak havoc somewhere else. 194, we have Dieter, who's a guy that was on a video call in Jason X. He's like, a box of DVDs isn't a gold mine. And I completely disagree. But, you know, that's just me. Yeah, no, he's a nothing character. Number 193, Wimmer. The other guy who dies at the beginning of Jason X, who has a name. Gets a spear thrown through him. He's an asshole. He's risking the lives of a lot of people to keep Jason from being frozen and to transfer him somewhere to do more tests. And it is that idiocy that gets a lot of people killed. I mean, granted, he failed. They did freeze him, and so the planet was safe from Jason for a long time. But if it was up to this guy, it wouldn't have been. But then we wouldn't have got the space movie. And 192 is Dallas. He's the only grunt that made it on the list, really. No, he's the only one, because Brodsky's not like the grunt. He's like their boss. So Dallas is the only one of those guys that made it, because he has his own scene with Azrael and had a bigger impact than just all the grunts that just went down and just got killed one by one off screen. But he is, and if I was including all those dudes and the 2 chicks, this is around where they would land too. So I would imagine. But yeah, no, he gets his head crushed against the wall with the squeaky noise. That guy. Yeah, I like him. All right, he's very immediately rushing to save Azrael and all that, but you know, he's not on screen very long. He's kind of a nothing character. Yada yada yada. 191 is the coroner guy from the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell. No, not the one that eats the heart, because he actually has a name. The other one that comes in who gets his face fucked up. That guy. He ranks this low because he's an asshole to Jason, but he's kind of funny, and I really like his kill. 190 is Edna from the 3rd movie. Now, technically, there's a chick named Edna in the 9th movie, too, but she didn't make the list because she has one scene where she gets her head crushed in a door. This is the chick from the 3rd movie who's just a total bitch to her husband for the entire beginning of the 3rd movie. She's just awful and annoying as hell, and it's great to see her die. 189 is one of the few cops that actually made the list that's not really important, but it's the cop from the remake that stops Clay earlier on. He's like, yeah, people, they probably just took off together and all that shit, and he gets stabbed in the face. He's kind of a nothing character, and originally I did include the 2 cops from the ending of 6, and I decided not to, because they're just 2 random cops, and 200's better than 202. But they when I originally thought of putting them in, this is where they ranked, underneath this guy. Or, like, above him, or whatever. 188 is Bert, the sexist paintballer. He's a prick. He only has, like, one scene. It's kind of, like, ironic and funny, his scene, though, so that kind of eases the, oh, wow, this guy's an asshole of it all. And, you know, saves him a couple spots, but not really much. He's still in this first video of the ranking, which is going to just be all the fucking shitty characters. I mean, there's some, we get to some entertainment at some point, but in this part, but yeah, no, you don't want to be in this video if you're a Friday the 13th character. Up next is 187 is Annette, and 186 is her boyfriend Steven from the 6th movie. They're just the couple that get stabbed on the motorcycle. Nothing to them. Steven ranks higher because of I like the way he acts like he's all sad and then throws the cup, but that's really the only thing that puts him above her, and they're both just nothing forgettable characters. 185 is Vic. Technically our first killer on the list because he killed Joey at the beginning of 5. But, you know, psychopath guy, asshole guy, just snaps and murders someone. And then we never see him again. Yeah, he's not that memorable. I mean, he's memorable, but it's not like... When you ask someone, like, what are your top 5 Friday 5 characters? No one says Vic. 184 is Duke from the 5th movie, who, and I know you don't know who the fuck that is, or you're hardcore like me, but Duke is the gum-chewing paramedic that pops the gum and is like, bunch of pussies. That guy. And that's the only scene that's memorable with him in it, so that's why he's that low. 183, another character from the 5th movie. There's a fuckload of characters from the 5th movie right in this chunk. Raymond. He's the guy that's like, who the fuck are you and what the fuck do you want? The guy that Ethel points the shotgun at, that guy. And, no, he has nothing to his character. He's a little bit of a peeping Tom, and that's about all you know about him. He's willing to work for some food, and he seems like he's supposed to have some, like, manners or something, but then he's peeping on the teen. He's a really weird character, and he's not important, not memorable. Having a name is pretty much why he made the list. 182 is Anita, Demon's girlfriend. The, hey, baby, ooh, baby. She's great, but, like, the real memorable stuff in those scenes is Demon and Reggie, not really Anita as much. The singing and pooping part was really her biggest moment to shine. But there's not really a lot known about her, and we do know that she's one to come shake the fuck out of the porta potty to fuck with her to fuck with her boyfriend. So, you know, that's not nice. I don't know. 181 is Pete, the greaser in 5 that's a douchebag. I'm already running out of things to say about some of these characters. I think his freestyle was really bad. But kind of so bad that it's funny that it made it in the cut, so that's good. But he's a real fucking asshole. Like, he's not likable in any way. Just the funniness of the scene, I guess, is kind of only what makes him this high. And I say this high, but he's in 181st place, so he's not doing great. Good old 180, Final Destination fans out there. We got Joey from the 5th movie. He's the mentally deficient kid that gets axed to death immediately. He's really annoying, but it's kind of funny. And it's really funny when he gets killed. But, you know, that old chestnut. At 179, we got Vinny, the other greaser, who isn't an asshole, but he is kind of a wine bag. Yeah. I don't know what to say. He's there, and he dies. If the character's just there, and they die, and they made the list, they're not going to make it very high. The next two are the only characters that I know have a name, but I don't know what their name is, and I didn't bother to look it up. But at 178, we have the sheriff from the fifth movie, and at 177, we have the mayor from the fifth movie. They're really on, like, the sheriff is in a few scenes, and he seems to be friends with Matt. But I think the mayor is better because, like, you bring me a goddamn live suspect. Jason Voorhees is dead. He's a pile of ash. I love that scene. I love the fifth movie. It's stupid, but a lot of the fifth movie's characters are fucking, like, we're still in that chunk. Well, this is the end of the fifth movie characters for this video. But that it was a big fucking just chunk that were all from the fifth movie. And, you know, when people bitch about the fifth movie a lot, I think that one thing that's not said as much is just the dip in quality of characters overall. There's some that are really great, but none of the characters in the fifth movie are as good as most of the characters from the first three movies, or the first four movies, I mean. But there are other movies that have worse characters overall. I'm going to hopefully try and keep track of at every point in this list we hit the last time you see a character from this in the movie. We'll see if I can do that. Number 176 is Russell. And he is the kind of douchebag that ties a sweater around the neck of his fucking shirt. He's in the seventh movie. He's the guy that gets the axe in the face. He seems like a real douchebag. He spends the whole time bitching about everyone doing exactly what they said they were going to do, which is party at the house. Like, he seems like a prototype for Trent, only he's not funny. In 175, we have Dan, and at 174, we have Judy. And Judy's the chick that gets hit. Judy is the sleeping bag kill, and Dan is her boyfriend that dies before that. They're fine. I think Judy's kind of funny, but they're really forgettable. And at 173, rounding out the first of these videos, we have Michael, played by William Butler. And I just think that guy is great. But his character in this movie is largely forgettable because he dies first and has very few memorable moments before that. But I just think it's cool that he's been in so many cool things. Like dude's been killed by Jason. He's been in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, getting killed by a little girl. And he's in Freddy's Nightmares. What have you done? But, no, his character's not great. But that's it for this section. I'm splitting this into 7 videos because no one wants to watch. Like, imagine if I did this in 2 parts and it was like it was 100 people in each video. It would be too much. It would be too much. And it would be too much for me to export and upload. That's more so why I'm doing it, as opposed to just because people aren't... Like, as far as attention spans, you're going to watch this or you're not. But it being in pieces is more for me. And editing and all that. So, yeah. But, like, subscribe, all that bullshit, and we'll continue with this list. The next video will be 172 to 144.